Let's go to our caller from the 281 area code. Who's calling today from 281?
Hi, is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hey, David. Longtime fan. You're actually the first person that got me into podcasting, so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
your show.
Love it.
I had a question in regards to the piece you had yesterday in regards to being a hobbyist. I was curious on your thoughts on how to, I guess, make the change from a hobbyist into sort of an activist, because it is very hard to get out of the mindset of just simply looking at the news or information that may suit you and applying that to actual change outside of that bubble that a person may put themselves in.
Well, number one, just asking the question is important because a lot of people who consume political news as entertainment never ask this question. They never realize that just like watching MSNBC doesn't really involve you in politics. And so I think there's a couple different things. Number one is I recommend everybody at the macro level don't just consume news. And in fact, I have a very specific and limited consumption of the day-to-day news. Obviously, I'm producing a show and I'm reacting to what's happening. So in doing so, I consume information about what's going on, but I actually am focusing more and more of my time on understanding history and economics and political philosophy, etc. So one recommendation I always make is if you want to take the news and get more involved in making change, learn about other things that will better allow you to interpret what's going on and contextualize it in history and within the context of different political systems, etc. But then beyond that, oftentimes what allows people to go from being political hobbyists to activists is you can't be an activist on every issue. And so figure out what's most important to you and try to activate there. So if it's climate and local schools, as an example, figure out how you can get involved in wherever you live, expanding the infrastructure for transitioning to clean energy as an example. Or, I'm just kind of riffing here, but the idea being you can't just say, well, I'm a progressive activist and I'm going to get involved. Everything I pay attention to, I'm now going to get involved in. It's just not possible. There's too many things in the world. So figure out what's most important to you and then kind of work backwards and say, okay, where can I most effectively and acutely affect some change in these particular areas? I think that that's really the best start.
Got it. So more narrow focusing and not being so broad with thinking, because I think that's what becomes overwhelming at times is that
Yeah.
a lot of people care about so many different things that it just becomes too much at once.
Focus on your sphere of influence, right? What can I impact? What can I get involved in right now and start there? You can still pay attention to everything else that's going on, but try to narrow your focus of activism.
Right. I mean, I think right now I'm in Houston, Texas, and right now what's outstanding is what you've also talked about, how ever since the data changed from the CDC to the Trump administration, it has not been at all what the numbers have looked like here.
Yes.
In Houston, specifically, I think we just passed a large amount of cases, so it's very concerning. I think that's one of the main points of activism that I'm aiming for, is really trying to be more self-aware and spread the actual truth with what I can within my own abilities.
All right. Very good. It sounds like you're well on your way. I appreciate the phone call, and please do check back in and let us know how things ended up going, where you ended up focusing.